All right, strap in, everybody. We're going deep on this one. Sean Diddy Combs, some pretty heavy allegations coming out. This could be big, really shake-up music, maybe even Hollywood.
Yeah, no doubt. A lot going on here for sure. Complicated.
Tons of info on this. You really sent us down the rabbit hole. The heart of it seems to be this YouTube breakdown. In Spanish, though, right? So what's the big picture, like the overall gist?
Well, it all starts with Diddy's ex, I guess you'd say, Cassandra Ventura, better known as Cassie, right? She's the one who filed the lawsuit, talking about a decade of abuse, pretty heavy stuff. We're talking sexual violence, even sex trafficking.
Whoa, that's intense.
Yeah.
I mean, those are some serious accusations. Just so everyone's on the same page, could you give us like a quick Diddy 101?
Yeah, sure. Diddy, Puff Daddy back in the day. You know, he's like a hip-hop icon, started from nothing in Harlem, built himself up, became this massive music executive. Bad Boy Entertainment, that's his. Launched, like, huge careers. Notorious B.I.G., for example.
Didn't just stay behind the scenes, though, did he? I mean, he had his own hits, rapping, and all that.
Oh, absolutely. Especially after Biggie died. Diddy, he really stepped into the spotlight. I'll Be Missing You. You know, come on. Huge hit. Solidified him, you know, as an artist, as a force in the industry. Powerful guy.
So we've got this image, right? Success, influence, the whole package. And now this lawsuit drops, bringing all this darkness to the surface. What's Cassie actually saying happened? What are the specifics?
The lawsuit. It's pretty dark. She's saying years of abuse, physical, emotional, sexual, the whole gamut. Diddy was controlling, manipulative, isolated her from everyone, used his power to keep her trapped, basically.
And it goes beyond just them, right? It's about these parties, these freak-offs Diddy was known for. Those get brought up, too.
Yeah, those parties, they were, well, according to the lawsuit, they were more than just parties. A lot of drugs, apparently. Ecstasy, ketamine, GHB, that kind of stuff. And a lot of sexual stuff happening, too.
Sexual stuff, so not just, like, friends having a good time.
No. The lawsuit says Diddy was, well, using his money and his power to pressure people, force them into these activities. And get this, he was recording them too. Maybe to use as blackmail later, who knows?
Man, that's messed up. Really messed up.
It makes you think, right? About consent, about exploitation. You've got all this power in the mix too. If this is all true, it's straight up abuse. Abuse of power, I mean.
And the lawsuit wasn't the only thing, was it? There was that raid on Diddy's house, too.
Oh, yeah, that raid. 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. I mean, come on. That's not normal, you know?
Yeah.
That really adds to the whole picture. Makes those accusations way more believable.
So we started with Cassie's lawsuit, but this thing's gotten way bigger, right? What's the legal situation now?
Yeah, it's gone federal now, Manhattan. Diddy's facing charges. Racketeering, conspiracy to commit racketeering, and transporting individuals to engage in racketeering. That's the official wording.
Hold on, racketeering. That sounds like a mobster thing.
Yeah, it does. Right. That's why these charges are so serious. Racketeering basically means you're doing a bunch of illegal stuff, but it's organized, like a business almost. The prosecutors are saying Diddy was running a whole criminal operation.
Wow. And the conspiracy part, that means?
It means they think he was working with other people to pull all this off. It wasn't just him acting alone. It's like a whole network, allegedly.
So this isn't just some celebrity gossip anymore. We're talking possible organized crime, serious legal trouble, and on top of it all, Diddy's actually locked up right now, isn't he?
He is. Brooklyn, no bail. Judge said he's a flight risk, could be a danger, you know?
Wow. They denied bail. That really says something. It's not looking good for him.
No, not really. This is serious stuff to them, clearly.
Of course, Diddy's saying he's innocent, says everything at those parties was consensual, nothing wrong. But with these charges, with the stuff that's coming out, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, the evidence, it's not going to be easy to explain that away.
And this isn't just about Diddy, right? This has the potential to blow up way bigger. Hollywood, I mean.
Definitely. If more people are involved, if names come out, this could get really messy.
We've already seen some weird stuff. Asher deleted thousands of tweets out of nowhere. Ashton Kutcher, on Hot Ones, of all places, made a comment about Diddy's parties. Makes you wonder, you know, who else was there, what they saw.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking questions.
And it's starting to feel a little, I don't know, Epstein-ish. This idea that one powerful guy could bring down a whole bunch of others.
I see what you mean. Abuse of power, possible blackmail, people covering things up. There are definitely some parallels.
Like, we might get this whole peek behind the curtain of Hollywood, all the stuff that's been kept quiet for years. If Diddy starts talking to save himself, who knows what'll happen?
Yeah, Pandora's box, right?
Right.
Could be a lot more to this story than we even realize.
This is already a lot, and it sounds like there's more. More accusations, more evidence, right?
Yeah, there's some other pieces here. We haven't even touched on them yet. Like Rodney Jones. He's accusing Diddy, too. Saying Diddy groped him, tried to assault him.
Hold up, this Rodney Jones guy, what's he saying?
Says Diddy groped him, tried to assault him. And get this, he's saying Cuba Gooding Jr. was involved, too.
Cuba Gooding Jr., the actor.
Yeah, him. And he's already been convicted of sexual misconduct, so now this new accusation pops up, and it's like, whoa, maybe there's a bigger pattern here, not just with Diddy, you know?
And then there's that video, right? The one with Cassie at the hotel. Tough to watch, but hard to ignore, too.
Yeah, that video. It's disturbing. But it adds to the whole picture, right? It's more evidence that Diddy maybe wasn't treating women right, that this wasn't just a misunderstanding or something.
So what happens now? Where's this whole legal thing headed?
Trial's not set yet. Probably early 2025, that's the word. But until then, Diddy's stuck. Locked up, waiting.
Sounds like this is just the beginning of a long road.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And who knows what's going to come out along the way. This could change a lot of things. The music industry, how people see it, how things are done.
This is big. But we should be clear, right? These are still allegations. Diddy deserves a fair trial, all that.
Absolutely. Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
That's how it works. But the evidence is, well, it's definitely worth paying attention to.
Makes you think.
For sure.
Makes you think about a lot of things. Accountability, power, what goes on behind the scenes.
For sure. Big questions here. And not just about Diddy.
Before we get into all that, all the bigger implications, let's take a minute. Think about Diddy himself. What this might mean for him. His career, his legacy, all that he built.
Yeah, that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Well, it could all go away. I mean, really, gone. If he's found guilty, decades in prison, that's what he's looking at.
And even if, I don't know, even if he doesn't end up behind bars, his reputation, that's got to be shot, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the damage is already done. Sponsors dropping him, projects getting shelved, his brand. It's taken a huge hit.
Like we're seeing the man behind the curtain, you know, all this success, all this power, and underneath, well, it's not pretty.
And this is bigger than just Diddy, right? It's like a whole look at the entertainment industry, all the messed up stuff that goes on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're getting this peek backstage. And what we're seeing, it's an industry that, I don't know, it often feels like it puts money before people.
Profits over everything sometimes. And people get hurt.
Yeah, that's it. And it's like, how many people knew? How many people looked the other way? To let this go on for so long, there had to be others involved, right? A whole network of enablers.
It's how these things work, unfortunately. Fear, loyalty, protecting yourself. That all keeps the secrets buried.
And who wants to go up against someone like Diddy? I mean, think of the lawyers, the money, the power he has. Speaking out, that takes guts.
It does. Especially when you know what might happen to you, your career, everything. It's a huge risk.
You know, it makes me think about what Justin Bieber said a while back about Billie Eilish, remember? Protecting her from the dark side of the industry.
Yeah, chewed up and spit out, he said. Kind of eerie to think about that now with all this coming out about Diddy.
Especially since they were close for a while, Bieber and Diddy. There's that video. Bieber was like a kid then. It's weird to watch it now, knowing what we know.
Yeah, you wonder what Bieber saw back then, what he might know now. Was he just exposed to a whole culture of this stuff?
Maybe. I mean, it's possible he knows things, saw things that could help, you know? With the case, I mean.
He could. The question is, will he say anything? Tough spot for him. Does he stay loyal to Diddy? Or does he risk his own career to speak out?
Tough call. But even if he doesn't say a word, the damage is done for Diddy, I think. This isn't going away.
Nope. The image is shattered. From this icon, this legend, to, well, to this. It's a big fall.
And it's more than just Diddy, right? This whole thing, it's making us look at the people we put on pedestals. Makes you think, are they really who we think they are?
Exactly. It's a reminder that money, fame, it doesn't make you a good person.
And we have to be careful as fans, as consumers. What are we supporting? Who are we giving our money to?
It matters. Our
Yes.
choices matter. We can't just ignore this stuff.
So let's talk outcomes here. What are the possibilities for Diddy?
Well, these are serious charges. Really serious. Racketeering, conspiracy, transporting people for illegal stuff. That's not a slap on the wrist. You know, if they get him on all of it, he could spend decades in prison.
It's crazy to think about, right? From private jets and mansions to a prison cell. It's a huge fall.
It is. And it shows, I think, that money and fame, they don't make you special in the eyes of the law. You do the crime, you do the time, everyone's the same.
Like there's this shift happening, you know? People are starting to realize that these celebrities, these icons, they're not untouchable.
Yeah, they're human.
Yeah.
And humans mess up. Sometimes they mess up big time.
And it's on us to hold them accountable.
For sure. We
Well,
can't just be passive, you know?
Mm.
We got to call this stuff out, demand better.
So where do we go from here? I mean, this case is still playing out. Who knows what's going to happen? What should we be watching for as this unfolds?
Well, a few things. First, the trial itself. What evidence do they have?
Mm-hmm.
What will Diddy's lawyers say? Any plea deals? Could be surprises. You never know.
Yeah, the trial, that's the big one. Could get really interesting. What else?
Well, watch for the ripple effect.
Mm.
Will more names come out? Will this lead to other investigations, maybe into other people in the industry?
It's like pulling a thread on a sweater, right? The
Yeah.
whole thing could unravel.
That's a good way to put it.
Mm.
And finally, pay attention to what people are saying. How is this affecting how we see the music industry? Are people demanding change? That's important.
Yeah, it's a time to think about what we value, what we're willing to support.
Exactly. Are we going to keep looking the other way? Or are we going to demand better?
It's a wake-up call, for
Yeah,
sure.
big time.
Before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to bring it back to everyone listening. This is heavy stuff, it can be tough to hear.
It is. And it's okay to feel overwhelmed, even discouraged. But remember, knowledge is power. And even when things seem dark, there's always hope for change.
So here's something to think about. Diddy built this empire, right? But maybe it was built on lies, on exploitation. This case makes us ask, can we separate the art from the artist? Can we enjoy the music while condemning the person?
That's a tough one. It's something we all have to figure out for ourselves. There's no easy answer. How bad were the actions? Did the artist admit to doing wrong? How were the victims affected? A lot goes into it.
Yeah, it's a balancing act for sure. Trying to reconcile what we love about the work with what we hate about the person.
And at the end of the day, it comes down to what we believe, where we draw the line, what's acceptable, when do we say enough is enough.
This whole case, it really makes us look at those boundaries. What are we okay with? Who are we willing to support?
Yeah, our choices, our money, our views, it all feeds into this system.
And if we keep supporting artists, industries that ignore these kinds of things, well, we're part of the problem, aren't we?
We are. But we can choose to be part of this solution too. If we demand accountability, if we speak up, if we support the people who are brave enough to come forward.
This case, it's a wake-up call. We got to do better.
We do.
Well, that about wraps it up for our deep dive this week. Thanks for joining us, everyone. This has been heavy, yeah, but it's been important too.
Absolutely. We've looked into some dark places, but we've also seen the power of truth, the possibility of change. It's not all bad.
This Diddy case, it's still going, and we'll keep following it for sure. But it's bigger than just him. This is about accountability, power, all the stuff we've talked about.
And it's about us. What kind of world do we want? What are we willing to do to make it happen?
Those are the questions we got to ask ourselves. Thanks for diving deep with us.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's something we all have to figure out for ourselves. There's no easy answer. How bad were the actions? Did the artist admit to doing wrong? How were the victims affected? A lot goes into it.
Yeah, it's a balancing act for sure. Trying to reconcile what we love about the work with what we hate about the person.
And at the end of the day, it comes down to what we believe, where we draw the line, what's acceptable, when do we say enough is enough.
This whole case, it really makes us look at those boundaries. What are we okay with? Who are we willing to support?
Yeah, our choices, our money, our views, it all feeds into this system.
And if we keep supporting artists, industries that ignore these kinds of things, well, we're part of the problem, aren't we?
We are. But we can choose to be part of the solution too. If we demand accountability, if we speak up, if we support the people who are brave enough to come forward.
This case, it's a wake-up call. We got to do better.
We do.
Well, that about wraps it up for our deep dive this week. Thanks for joining us, everyone. This has been heavy, yeah, but it's been important too.
Absolutely. We've looked into some dark places, but we've also seen the power of truth, the possibility of change. It's not all bad.
This Diddy case, it's still going, and we'll keep following it for sure. But it's bigger than just him. This is about accountability, power, all the stuff we've talked about.
And it's about us. What kind of world do we want? What are we willing to do to make it happen?
Those are the questions we got to ask ourselves. Thanks for diving deep with us.